Oh boy.
Yeah, oh boy.
It's
indeed.
exciting. Yeah. Time for our top 10
Yeah.
of 2016 vinyl countdown here on the Psychedelic Experience record run. I am DJ Mellow Yellow. No, wait, I'm not. I'm the psych professor. That's DJ Mellow Yellow. And boy, it's happening.
It's here. It's happening.
I'm so excited. All right, well, let's kick things off here. But I'm opening with a steal of a deal.
Very nice.
This one for $3, an original pressing of Electric Mud. Boy, this one used, loved. You can see there somebody's done a little bit of drawing there. Text, I don't know what that means. But this is just a monster electric blues album.
It really
I don't know what else to say about it.
It's so good.
And for the $3 that I paid for it, I really can't complain at all.
Yeah.
Found this at the November St. Louis record show. Oh boy, the long jam. She's All Right. Boy, I love that one. He also, of course, does I'm a Man, Just Want to Make Love to You, Hoochie Coochie Man, Let's Spend the Night Together. It's just one of those things where you get to see music sort of come full circle, and all the people that he'd influenced, you know, talking him into picking up that electric guitar.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's a monster. And for $3, steal of the deal.
All right, my number 10, also from the November record show.
Yeah.
You kind of figured this was coming.
Yeah. I can't believe it's only at number 10. This is amazing.
Well, DJ Bo Grumpus had generously gifted me an original copy a year or two ago. I love this record so much. This is the one I go to the most from the Velvet Underground. This one and Nico are kind of my 1 and 2 spots. Everything on here, Who Loves the Sun, Sweet Jane, Rock and Roll, those first 3 tracks are just mind-blowing that those 3 tracks open an album. Train Round the Bend, Oh Sweet Nothing that it closes with is amazing. And this is the white label promo. I am super happy with this. This was $30. Totally worth every single penny. Couldn't believe I found it. And it's taking the spot at number 10 for me on my top 10 vinyl finds. So.
Continuing on with my steal of a deal category here, I didn't want to put this record on. Well, I thought I'd said all I could or wanted to say about Mr. Otis Redding last year, and then for $5, bundled this with some other stuff. Otis Redding.
I forgot you got this.
Dictionary of Soul, complete and unbelievable. Opens up with Fa 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 Fa, sad song, which I just love, man. And then he pretty much says everything he needs to say with the second track. I'm sick, y'all. Boy, he nailed it. Yes, you are, Otis Redding. It's not Otis Blue, but man, for a follow-up record to Otis Blue, it's pretty darn good. It's just a fantastic record. Throw this on when you got a young lady coming over to your apartment, maybe for some mixed drinks or some, Netflix or whatever it is single guys do when people come over to their apartment. I don't know. If I put this record on, my wife couldn't care less. But single men, you need to own a copy of this record, and married guys get one too. And again, I can't believe I got an original pressing for $5.
That's awesome, and it looks great. Like a Netflix and chill with the album.
Yeah, there we go.
No.
All right, my number 9 find, coming from the November record show as well. This is a little bit more recent find, and since I found it, it has gotten quite a bit of play. So it was one that I just kept going back to, and it was like if I found this earlier in the year, it might even be a little bit higher up on the list.
Really?
This is...
Ooh, yeah, cool record.
Yeah, US 69, Yesterday's Folks. Talked about this recently as well. The opening track, I'm On My Way, A Patch of Blue, is mind-blowing. It's like 6 or 7 minutes long.
So
deep
good.
Eastern tinged psych rock. The rest of the album, for the most part, goes in kind of a jazzy funk, but still in that psych vein. It rocks out pretty good. It's, like I said, a little bit funky, but jazzy as well. It hits the right notes for me and sort of like the bridge between psych and kind of fusion-y rock kind of stuff. And then the closing track is 2069, A Spaced Oddity, 8 or 9 minutes long. Goes back to that Eastern tinged, deep, trippy, dippy psych. African Sunshine is a great track, and Miss Goodbody is the other kind of standout of the funkier tracks. All killer though. There's not a dud on here.
Bundled with my number 9 pick, that Otis Redding, I happened to pick up not an original, because those are way too pricey, but an original cover nonetheless of the Jimi Hendrix Experience Electric Ladyland with all those posh birds on the cover there. This is a Polydor pressing. It is not a Track Records original. Again, you're looking up in the upper 200s, lower 300s there.
Listen to that.
But that's got some crackle. And there's the inside there of the gatefold with the nice sort of shiny lacquer and everything, and that Polydor emblem. So really difficult to come by these in the Midwest, a vintage copy with this cover. And so I dropped 40 bucks on this. Again, I bundled it with some other things, but was super, super pleased to find this. Never thought I'd end up with one in my collection.
Right proper find there, sir. Right proper. All right, my number 8 find, also a St. Louis Record Show find, either the May or June show, I can't remember which one, but $6 on this, so I'm gonna call this one a little bit of a steal of a deal. Miles Davis, Bitches Brew. I'm not a big jazz guy. I don't dislike jazz. I just don't actively collect it. I don't listen to it a lot, and it's got to be kind of the right sound for me to really get into an album. And this is the right sound. This is fusion, but it gets sort of like acid jazz, so it's trippy enough that it's interesting. It's got a little bit of that free jazz element going on. It's rocking out, but it's still very much jazz. I can't believe how much I listened to this year. I found it and was like, oh, that's on every greatest albums list ever. I'm gonna pick it up.
Yeah,
$6, great deal.
Sure. Oh man.
I thought I'll play it once or twice, and it'll probably just be kind of a
it's in there
place of
to
pride.
be like, yeah, I've got that. Yeah, sure.
Kind of show off, and then I just kept listening to it. It's one that's great to put on in the background while you're doing other work. And you can kind of like ignore a couple tracks and then get swept up into some others, and then when you listen to it the next time, you get swept up in the ones you ignored the first time. It's just, there's always something interesting going on and something new to your ears when you listen to it. There's a ton going on. Miles Runs the Voodoo Down. That's the one, man. That's the one. Number 8.
Very cool find. Yeah. I hope in some way that every year showing a record that someone has given to us through VCLT in some way thanks you for all the support that you give us by watching the videos, rating them, commenting, and then those of you who are kind enough to send a record our way.
Yeah.
As always, DJ Bo Grumpus is the benefactor of the Psychedelic Experience record run, and I was just flabbergasted when a copy of the GTO's Permanent Damage arrived in the mail. I'm so grateful for this, Bo. Yeah. It is the gatefold, the original. It has the full booklet inside, and it's just it's a record you gotta have there.
Absolutely.
But to be in this shape and to be such a generous gift from our friend Bo, I mean, we can't thank you enough again for the support that you give us, both as vinyl addicts and as an audience member, our number 1 audience member for the show. Definitely. So thank you so much, Bo, and thank you to everybody, and I do mean everybody who sent us anything within the past year.
Yeah.
All of them. Your generosity is just overflowing, and we could never repay it. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm in love with the ooh man. He's the king of Schlittland.
Coming in at number 7, I got this at Vintage Vinyl about halfway through the year, maybe even the first half of the year. Been on my want list for a long time. Finally found a copy.
Yes.
This is Van Morrison's Astro Weeks. This is not a first pressing. This is a 1979 reissue. I don't care. It's in great shape. A little bit of ring wear, but this album cover, I don't think I've ever seen one without it. But when I showed it in our Vinyl Finds video, you made the comment, we were talking about how it's amazingly better than Moondance, and you said it's more than splitting hairs.
Yes, like it's not even like, oh, it's so close. It's like, Moondance, great, pinnacle record, and then you hear this record and you're like,
it tops it.
Like,
it's clearly
Moon Dance
better.
wasn't the peak of the mountain for this guy. It's amazing.
It's incredible. It's all good. It's all killer, no filler. This is a perfect album.
Way Young Lovers Do.
Yes.
Oh.
His voice, the soul with which he sings, the passion, you feel it through the record. It's incredible.
It's an amazing record. Amazing record.
This was like $13.
That is a steal.
Just so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. My official jealousy generator of the year. Pick this up for $12 at GB's. The Monkeys.
Yes.
What a record. Ooh, it's fun to play with this one too.
Yeah.
It's got the original, the silver foil cover.
I really am big time jealous.
This is the one that I'm just like, Mellow Yellow, what could I get him to trade for this? I love this record. I love this movie.
Yeah.
It's just weird, sort of stream of consciousness psychedelia, but Head is just an out there movie, and the album is out there, and it really does rock from the Monkees too, with some weird stuff on there. It's just fun stuff. So if you happen to see a foil cover of the Monkees' Head, grab it. Yeah. It's a really fun album.
All right, number 6. This was a Euclid Records find in St. Louis. It was a cheapie, and it's a cheap record. It does not go for much money, but I played the crap out of it this year. This is the Arbors, the I Can't Quit Her and the Letter, featuring I Can't Quit Her and the Letter. Yeah, this is just soft pop psych. Soft rock mixed with soft pop psych. And I love it. It's got trippy elements, but it still is, heavy on melodies and harmonies and things like that. What I appreciate the most about this, though, is it's mostly covers, but they do something different with them. They really make it their own sound. It's not just a straightforward cover, as we call them. The standout for me, though, is Touch Me, a cover of The Doors' Touch Me. Completely changed the meaning of the song for me. It took it from this sort of raw sexual energy kind of a track to this really nice love song. Yeah, you go from that to this like touch me, babe. Oh, it's like this sweet love song the way they do it. I can't praise this album enough, and it gets overlooked. I paid $6 for this. The average price on Discogs is $7.
Very cool.
Wonderful.
Very cool. Number 5. So
the big stuff.
Each year I get to, for the past couple of years, I've got to go to New York City. So I miss the March record show, but I get an opportunity to record shop on Lower Manhattan.
Oh.
This is Gong's Camembert Electrique.
That's awesome.
And this was the first UK actual pressing as opposed to BYG import. It is on that white Virgin label, and if you look closely, it says DJ copy for promotional use only. But it's a needle drop to label experience, as is most stuff involving David Allen. It's an awesome record. I got this one at Good Records. I did pay sticker price on this one. I walked in the door, saw it up on the wall, $30, and I thought, I'm leaving with that record unless it's a recent reissue, and it wasn't. So
that's awesome.
Happy to have Gong Camembert Electrique.
All right, number 5. This was an eBay find.
You broke your rules.
Oh, I did. I didn't even realize. I usually just do
Found in the wild. Yeah.
This was an eBay, but I will make the exception because it was one I wasn't familiar with. Like, I knew of it, but hadn't heard anything off of it. Came across it on eBay. With shipping, I paid just over $13 for this album. This is the group Image, A Mouth in the Clouds. I always had assumed that this was going to be kind of poppy art rock, psych rock, kind of like avant-garde pop rock or something just based on the cover. No, this is like acid psych. This is deep, trippy, not dark, but just acidic psych rock, man. I put this on, and Aunt Ida starts out, and it's like fuzzed up and deep, and I was like, did I get the wrong record? This is the group Image? This is what this sounds like? Oh my gosh. from needle drop to label on both sides, it's great. It doesn't play as like a concept or a cohesive album necessarily, but each track each one sort of gets better and better as it goes along, and it kind of builds until you hit side 2 and it's just all on freak out. It's still a little bit under the radar. Pick this one up before it gets rediscovered and expensive.
So my number 4 record, I purchased on the same day I purchased my number 5 record.
Oh!
At the next shop that I went to. So I went from Good Records in the East Village to A1 Records, where I found a first pressing of the Fugs,
yes.
self-titled. This is the second Fugs album. The first one was called The Village Fugs, and it actually has a much longer title that I can't remember the whole thing of. And I found a copy of that album as well. But this one is actually a little bit garagey, where the first one is very folky.
Yeah.
The thing that kind of made this end up being the record from that trip that I went back and just re-examined is the opening track, Frenzy. Sounds like it's from a garage band. You're like, oh wait, this is the Fugs? Like, it's a garage track, man. And so it just got me back into it. I love the humor. I love the iconoclastic spirit of this band. I would say between this and Tenderness Junction, it's up for which one's the better LP, but it's really probably just in the ear of the listener at that point. So seek both those out, but the Fugs are a really, really cool band.
Alright, my number 4. We had a great trip to Memphis.
Know what it is already.
Yes. That was my find of the trip. It, again, not a blind buy. I knew the cover, didn't know the music within, and boy.
Last pickup of the trip for you, I believe.
It was the very last record I bought. This was from Rockstar Records in Tupelo, Mississippi. That's right, I forgot about that. This is the Peppermint Trolley Company, self-titled. This is great, ambitious pop that borders on psychedelia in spots. Pop psych, it's not going to be deep trippy. And when I talked about this before, I mentioned how it kind of goes from sort of standard pop fare, which is sort of like love songs and breakup songs, to then juxtaposing it with very political minded songs. It's the sweet spot on both sides for me. Beautiful Sun and Fatal Fallacy are my 2 favorites on the album. It's all so good. It's a hard one to describe. You just kind of need to listen to it. It doesn't sound necessarily what you would think looking at the cover. It kind of looks like it'd be bubblegum. It's not. It's pop, but it's experimental, baroque-ish, pop psyche. It's just great. Give this album a listen. It's on YouTube in full to stream. Check it out. Pick this up. I paid $15 for this. It goes for like 20 or 25. It's not terribly expensive. Well worth picking up. My number 4.
Your number 4 was your find of the Memphis trip?
Yes.
My number 3 is my find of the Memphis trip.
Oh, very nice.
The reappearance of the Weird and Rare would be...
Oh wait, I think I know what this is.
Harvey Mattisau's Juice Heart Band, War Between the Fats and Thins.
Oh.
This LP is weird, man. It's weird stuff. But look at this. So, Harvey Mattisau testified to the House Un-American Activities Commission. Basically, all of his artsy communist friends from the U.S. ostracized him. He went to the U.K. and formed a Jaw Harp band. I've already given that rundown in the previous description of this. There's no way to describe this record.
No.
It really is people playing Jaw Harp, but this one is just, it's out there, man. It's political commentary and satire. There's a song called Klooch Hunt.
Where you wellies new?
18 Nuns is about a guy getting out of prison and fantasizing about his first look at a woman in like 3 years, and then he finds himself in an unfortunate situation. I don't know what else to say about it, but that cover, oh boy.
18 Nuns.
This one, it was a blind buy. I didn't know anything about it. It was $10, and looking at the cover, I was like, gotta buy it. It's coming home with me. This is Don Robertson. The album is titled Dawn, D-A-W-N, so kind of a play on his name. Oh, look at the cover. Seriously, $10 with a cover like that. It's not coming home with you. You're crazy. You're crazy. This is such a weird one to describe. I would call it proto-new age mixed with acid psych. The opening track, I posted this recently on Instagram, and I described it like this. The opening track, Dawn, is 9.5 minutes long, and it sounds like the music that's played at a shop where they put mud and cucumbers on your face. Like it's spa music, it's that new agey wind chimes, very relaxing. But once you get past the opening new age track, you get Contemplation, The Candle, and Gateless Gate, which are the deep acid psych. It's sort of like it's kind of a trip, man. You start out like, oh, I'm feeling good. Whoa, this is getting weird. And I'm coming out of it. You know, it's kind of one of those things. Fantastic album. It was one that I was kind of like, oh, this is a cool curio.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll listen to this more than a couple times. And then it was sort of, I'd be doing something on my computer and be like, I want to listen to a couple of those tracks, and I'd put it on. And the more the year went on, the more it got turntable play, and it's just under the radar. So if you find this cheap, pick it up, you won't be disappointed.
Very cool. Very cool. My number 2 record of the year is the last one that breaks my original pressings rule. This is original US pressing.
Okay.
It's the album I paid the most for in 2016.
Ooh.
You actually pointed me in the direction of this LP.
Oh, yes.
And it is a first US pressing
Yes.
in 1968 of Nirvana's The Story of Simon Simopath.
Amazing.
And
Fantastic.
it's a record I've talked about a bunch already. I don't feel like I need to say anything else about it. It is the poppiest of pop psych, almost bubblegummy,
Yeah.
but deeper than that.
Yeah, kind
Deep bubblegum.
reminds me a little bit of like the Bee Gees Baroque era
Yes,
kind of
absolutely,
stuff.
absolutely the Baroque era. 2 years ago, that was my main thing that I was into in psych. Like I said, original 68 US pressing, and
That's awesome.
I don't know what else I can say other than that. I'm flabbergasted to have it. It's amazing.
He wants to be in love, he wants to be a butterfly.
Right, number 2. This is also maybe bending my rules a little bit. I usually personally don't show anything that was given to me. This one's a little bit different though. This isn't from anybody in the vinyl community. This was from a close family friend. Her parents had passed away and they were cleaning out the house to do an estate sale. Her dad had a pretty sizable record collection and said, would you come over and take a look at it for me, and just, is it worth us selling, or should we just donate the records and not mess with it? And then I found a couple albums and it was like, whoa! Kind of set off to the side like, I'll offer to buy these and then they can do whatever they want with the rest. And she refused to take any money for them. She was like, you helped me out. I appreciate you going through them and taking the time and getting dirty with us, and just take it. That album is Thunder and Roses, King of the Black Sunrise. This is so good. I freaked out when I saw it because I knew of it. And then listening to the whole thing, it's fantastic. They're a trio, kind of a hard and heavy power trio kind of thing. It's sort of like Cream if Hendrix was the guitarist instead of Clapton. Wow. Stoked to have this and to get it for free. Just mind-blowing. Here we come.
Down to my number one.
Ooh.
It came down to what was the record that I put on the turntable more than anything else this year. It's not terribly rare, although you won't see it around here a whole bunch in central Illinois. I paid $16 for it. But I don't think I heard anything I liked more this year than David Peel and the Lower East Side's The American Revolution.
Oh, I'm so glad this is number one.
We talked a bunch about politics of psych this year, again, it being the 2016 everything, and this just seemed to fit how I felt this year. Look at these guys, man. It's just a trio of dudes, like, got nothing to lose. Are they great musicians? No.
No.
Is it fun? It's so much fun. I just love this record. I listen to this record more than I listen to anything else this year. Again, it's not hard to find. You can get it between $15 and $20 online in good shape. It's an awesome record, and it just, for me, was the record I listened to a whole bunch that wasn't a Beatles record in 2016. I don't know what else to say. David Peel and the Lower East Side, The American Revolution, favorite record I got this year.
My number one record find of the year came from the September St. Louis Record Show. It was an album that I knew of its reputation, but hadn't listened to at all. And it blew me away. It hits the right notes for me. $20 for a promo copy of Big Star's
This is your
Radio
number
City.
one? Oh, man! Oh, this was one of the ones I was sure I was going to see, but I can't believe this beat some other stuff out. But
It did. This was like, why didn't I know about this when I was 15 years old? High school me would have loved this record.
But isn't it the best thing about music when you're a different you when you
Yes.
listen to it? Yes, that's amazing.
And it may
man.
even be better now because I know what I was like as a teen and the angst that this record pours out, set to the power pop music of Big Star and Alex Chilton. It's so good. I cannot express how much I love this record. I didn't think I was going to love it as much as I do. I am so happy that this is in my collection. It will never leave. This is like if the house is on fire, grab the wife, the dog, and this. It's amazing. It's my number one record of the year, and it'll be tough to top that in 2017.
For all of you out there in the VC, we thank you and hope you had a wonderful 2016.
Absolutely.
Other than that, we'll see you at the record show. Until then, avoid scratches and stay in the groove.